We're really happy to have one of our great customers and partners, really. We really consider them a partner in Chartis here with us today. So Jim Ryan, you're here with us?
Yes, I am, Carnum. Thank you for that introduction.
Fantastic. So you've kind of been along this journey with us of talking about the social enterprise and really defining what that means and how we can help enterprises adapt and leverage these new social and mobile technologies. Maybe tell us a little bit about Chartis' journey in using Salesforce.com and becoming a more socially connected enterprise.
I think many of us know Chartis. Chartis is the property and casualty company associated with American International Group. We are a very large company, clearly with 30,000 plus employees operating in almost 150 countries. We have a large, geographically dispersed and very sometimes product or line of business centric organization. That has led us, or had led us, to a model where we were very much siloed. We were very, very good in those silos, but we didn't really leverage each of the parts to make the sum of them better than or more profitable, more effective than we wanted to. So we began to look for tools, solutions that could help us adjust the culture, where perhaps where we had goals, metrics, and measures that optimized the silo, we weren't optimizing the sum of the parts, the assets that we had. And we looked at social CRM and we said, what's different about social CRM than traditional CRM solutions? And that jumped right off the page to us. Social meant that people changed their culture. That in the traditional model where we talked about ourselves or we said what our capabilities were, social meant that we listened and many times reacted. So the first thing we learned in our journey to where we are now is that we had to change our culture to become more aligned with listening to what our customers wanted, to listen to what our other business units wanted. So we needed tools and solutions that would do this. We had adopted Salesforce's CRM solution almost 4 years ago. And when we first looked at Chatter, we said the light bulb grew very bright, and we said, this is probably it. We had many collaboration tools, we had SharePoint, we had other tools that were excellent, but we needed something that was a destination for people, but also had the content and the stickiness that people would want. So for our standpoint from our journey, we looked at Chatter, which is Salesforce's social collaboration tool, as the natural extension of what we were trying to do in our sales culture, which is to make it more extroverted, to make it more collaborative. And I would give you sort of a word picture that the three things that we were looking for social CRM and the use of these social tools were, one, to identify resources. We have a tremendous collection or population of subject matter expertise and skills that are unique in the industry, but we needed a tool like Chatter and social media to help us identify them. We needed a tool that would help us discover those people in real time so that we could apply them to deals and opportunities. And last but not least, collaborate so that they could share information and intelligence to be successful. Now, in the last 9 months, which is when we started adopting Chatter, we went from a population of perhaps 0 people using the tool to almost 6,500. In fact, the CRM product is being adopted along with the Chatter product. So social collaboration has become such an important topic, an important way of us distributing our product and working together, that it has far outpaced our CRM adoption, and in many ways is the loss leader we use to incentivize people to use the CRM solutions. So that's a little bit about who we are.
That's interesting. So just to clarify, I didn't talk about Chatter as a product, but you gave a great explanation. So you started out using traditional CRM from Salesforce, and then you adopted, is it it's the social platform really that the CRM is built on top of, right?
Absolutely, Carter.
Okay. And do you use it in an embedded way with your CRM?
Yes, we do. In fact, we use it in 3 ways. The first way is what I think most people would think of as the traditional one. It's an extension of the CRM product. So what you can do is create public and private groups. You can collect, you can share market intelligence. You can follow an opportunity or a contact. That's the traditional way a tool like Chatter is used. But we found some interesting non-traditional ways. We found it as a way of creating internal affinity groups where people had certain areas of expertise, common knowledge, or common interests that they could find themselves together on a global platform. An example I always use and people find interesting is we actually have community outreach programs where employees participate in things like Habitat for Humanity or other charitable or outreach programs and food banks. Actually, amazingly, without our asking them to do it, these populations began to find each other. They discovered each other and became bigger, stronger, and were able to exchange best practices. So the law of unanticipated consequences, not only did this tool strengthen our ability to bring together engineering teams, underwriting teams, product development teams, but it also brought together groups that we had never thought it would bring together. The last area we thought was very interesting for these products is to embed them in our legacy applications. So now we have reservation systems or policy quotation systems where we'll put a tool like Chatter embedded in that, and we create a social layer on a legacy application. So in many ways, we've gotten almost as much value, if not more value, from the non-traditional uses of social tools like Chatter than we have from the traditional use.
Great. And I mean, other than the connecting to people, in what other ways does a social platform, is it helping you guys in productivity? What are the benefits are you seeing?
Well, the most interesting one that we found is the new social contacts features in Salesforce. What we're seeing with that is the ability to find specialty markets and specialty affinities within our customer groups. So now we look at the individual, our contacts, social contacts, their social network traffic. We use tools like Radian6 or those types of products. Or the new
Can you explain a little bit about Radian6? What does it do?
Sorry about that. Radian6 is a tool that allows participants to do sentiment analysis and to evaluate the blogosphere, the Twitter community, and other online communities to see what the sentiment, the feedback, and track sort of the tone of the postings related to something that you're of interest in. So we may have sentiment analysis that we do in areas like some of our new product designs or some of our reorganization announcements. And what we try to do is listen. As I said earlier, social to us means listening, and then react to that and reinforce the positive messages and deal perhaps with the unfortunate less than positive messages. So we use a Radian6 platform to get the sentiment analysis, to get sort of the viral nature of the online communities and see what they're talking about, what's important to them.
Interesting. Sorry, I just want to tie it back to, so if I'm looking at this diagram of the different elements of what we call a social enterprise, you're creating not just an employee social network, but you're also kind of moving toward the right side here where you're listening and analyzing and developing products and partner strategies based on that. Is that accurate?
Absolutely, Karen. What we're doing is we're looking at our broker partners who are an incredibly important part of our distribution channel, and we want to hear what their concerns are, what their challenges are. Traditionally, we used older technologies older approaches like the Net Promoter Score, surveys, in-person conversations. But now we can augment that with what they're saying on their blog spaces, on their LinkedIn page, on their Twitter comments. So instead of just doing a quarterly assessment or a quarterly stewardship review, we can look at what they're saying in real time and say, wow, we need to adjust our products. We need to adjust our marketing strategies to deal with that. And an example I might use is the recent cruise line incident in Italy. All of a sudden, that became a very important issue if you happen to be a cruise line owner for business interruption insurance. We wanted to make sure that our solutions in that met the appropriate limits and capabilities that constituency wanted. So that gave us a real-time ability to measure the sentiment out there related to that specific incident.